Yes, we will absolutely start. I hope everybody is joined. We are at 10 o'clock on the dot. So, first and foremost, a warm welcome from the team here from Sage and Simplify HR. Thank you so much for joining the session with us today. I hope it will be insightful and that you will learn something today. So, just very quickly, I am going to introduce who will be speaking today. So that'll be myself, Idal Novak. I'm an account sales executive working from Sage. And then also with us in the room is Henry Kraus. So he is from Simplify HR. Sage has got quite a few third-party companies that we do work with very closely. So he's just one of the companies that will showcase the product that they are on offering there. So just very, very quickly, the agenda that we'll be following today, I am aware that we don't have a lot of time. So just to frame our short session today, we are going to see HR in the payroll market. Everything we're going to show for you today is a short demo on the focus on the employee self-service, the Sage 300 people. We'll touch on the broader Sage ecosystem, like I've mentioned with regards to Henry from the Simplify HR team that's joined us here. Also with regards to leave, and we'll have some questions at the end. So the reason to start, I'm going to start with the report to just show you the pressures, the highlight that there is, and exactly the pressures that people and ESS is designed to help you with. And then, of course, we will have a poll and a customer Q&A. So this report gives us a useful industry lens. Before we jump into product, we're going to show you very, very briefly the product. So that helps us to move the conversation away from features only and towards the realities HR and people teams are facing every single day. So the key theme today is that HR and payroll teams are expected to do more and support the business strategically and still maintain accuracy, compliance, and trust. So let's just quickly look at how the research was conducted so that you know the insights are grounded on real feedback. This research was actually conducted independently with a leading international research consultancy. So we surveyed 1,000 HR and payroll leaders right across UK, Ireland, and South Africa, because that's where obviously our main branches are, and of course other countries as well. We've covered business from as small as 20 employees to as big as 2,500 employees. So importantly for that, the report was focused on real world pressures that everybody is experiencing, not necessarily ideal scenarios, and South Africa contributed 300 professionals to the study, so it was quite a lot. So for me, that makes the findings very relevant to our specific market. These are not theoretical challenges. These reflect what HR and payroll teams currently are dealing with in practice. And when we look at the key insights, we can immediately see why automation, visibility, and employee self-service are so important. Right, so this is in the research. So one of the standout findings is that 91% of respondents reported dramatic changes in HR's role over the past 5 years. At the same time, 71% said that they are battling increased workloads, and I think we all know what that means. So HR has not moved away from administration. Instead, strategic responsibility has been added on top of day-to-day operational work. We also see that AI is viewed as transformative. We all know AI is the buzzword at the moment out there. So with 80% believing AI will transform HR and payroll within 5 years, and 80% saying it could free up time for more strategic work. I think we've all used it in our day-to-day, maybe just polishing our emails, anything like that. But there's also caution. So with 61% people are worried about compliance and data security. So that is why the message today is not technology for the sake of technology. It is about using the right tools to reduce risk, improve accuracy, protect sensitive employee data that is so important nowadays, and give HR more time back. That brings us to Sage's footprint and why business trust us in this space. So here we can absolutely see the regional footprint that Sage has in the market. So we bring a strong combination of global experience and local market expertise. So here we can see more than 40 years of global experience. And that's a lot of years, and more than 65,000 customers across Africa and the Middle East, coverage across 44 African countries, and more than 13 million payslip processed per month in South Africa only. So that matters because payroll and HR are not generic. So we have local compliance, local legislation and reporting, and support and implementation experience are critical, especially for South African organizations that need confidence in both payroll accuracy and employer data security. So that we can see on the next slide. What brands can we trust? And we can see that trust reflects in the types of organizations already using Sage. So of course, we cannot share absolutely everything. So this is just a few of the logos I think that is quite familiar to most of us or all of us. So most importantly, I want to highlight the Fraser Alexander quote around ESS. Their HR systems manager specifically notes that the implementation of employee self-service streamlined various processes for the business. And I will showcase that to you in a little while. So that's exactly the point I want to bring into the demo. Is this employee self-service, and we'll shortly refer to it as ESS. It's not just an employee convenience tool. It helps reduce back-to-back forth admin and gives employees access to their own information and supports a more efficient HR and payroll process. So let's position where employee self-service fits into Sage 300 people. So Sage 300 People is designed to tackle HR and payroll complexity, supported by integrations. And I have just introduced Henry to you about the mentioned integrations and, of course, that experience partner ecosystem. At the center, we have core, payroll, and human resources. And then, of course, employee self-service. And that forms part of that connected solution. So we need to understand this is a complete end-to-end solution, one version of the truth product, payroll, HR, and ESS. But what is important is that ESS is not separate from payroll and HR. It is part of the same ecosystem. Like I have mentioned, it is an end-to-end solution. So which means the employee experience, manager approvals, and HR processes can actually connect back into the core employee record. So that helps with the administrative duties of the administrator for payroll and HR, where you actually give that work back to your employees. So for today's demo, I'll focus on the practical side. I want to show you how employees and managers can actually interact with the system directly and how that helps HR reduce manual administration. So before transitioning into the demo, let's just quickly summarize why Sage 300 People is trusted as the underlying platform. If there is one message that I'd like you to take away today, is that Sage 300 People is far more than just a payroll system. It is a fully integrated payroll, HR, and employee self-service solution that provides a true one-stop shop for managing your workforce from hire to retire. So organizations today are under pressure to do more with less. So HR teams need to manage employee records, payroll teams need to ensure compliance and accuracy, while employees expect instant access to information and service. We all know the Gen Zs and the Gen Xers, they want everything at their fingertips. So Sage 300 People brings all of this together into a single integrated environment where payroll, HR, and ESS work seamlessly from one database and one source of the truth. What makes a solution so powerful is its flexibility and scalability. Whether you have one company, multiple legal entities, Sage 300 People allows you to manage everything from a single platforming while maintaining the rules, controls, and compliance requirements unique to each business. So the system keeps a single employee record for life. One employee record for life. What that means is employees may move between companies. They can be transferred. They can leave, they can be reinstated, they can be promoted, but the history remains intact. So whenever you reinstate an employee, all that historical data will be reinstated on the system. So combine that with unlimited historical data, organizations can perform trend analysis, make informed decisions, and access valuable information whenever that is needed. Also, from a reporting perspective, there are over 210 standard payroll, HR, and ESS reports available out of the box. So businesses can run consolidated reports across multiple companies, create global views of their workforce, and even automate report distribution through report scheduling, which means that you can literally send a report every single month, the 28th of the month that's needed at 8 o'clock, to whomever needs that report, and you don't even have to be in the office or sending that report. You can automate send that. So this platform is also designed to work within your broader technology landscape. Standard APIs enable seamless integration, which we've mentioned with Henry from that he will show you everything about Simplify HR, and with other business applications. We will show you a quick slide on that as well, ensuring information flows freely without duplicate capturing or disconnected systems. So any other systems that you might be using, software that you might be using on your industry, we will be able to integrate via APIs. So that's where Sage 300 People makes it different than a normal payroll system. Then equally important is governance and security. So that is where we all have very much importance to. So Sage 300 People offers role-based security down to field level. So what that means is, so employees can only access information they are authorized to see. If you have one employee or administrator that only needs access to the equity record, for instance, and input equity data, they will literally only see the equity module. So notifications and alerts can be configured for key events such as contract expiration dates, license renewals, or any compliance milestones where every action is fully audited for complete visibility and accounting. So because many organizations operate across regions, the solution supports multi-legislation, multilingual, and multi-currency environments. So making it future-ready platform for growing businesses. Ultimately, Sage 300 People gives organizations one source, one secure integrated platform for payroll, HR, and employee self-service. It improves efficiency, strengthens control, and empowers employees and ensures that everybody works from the same trusted source of information. So that was a mouthful on this specific slide. So now that we've looked why organizations trust Sage 300 People as their HR and payroll foundation, let's look at the practical business outcomes these capabilities deliver on a day-to-day basis. So there are 4 core outcomes, and I want to leave you before the demo. First, the complete workforce visibility, because all companies are on one database, which supports global reporting across payroll and HR functions. Secondly, rapid deployment supported by the SQL platform. And of course, it can be in the cloud as well. So thirdly, security, stability, and improved processes, including role-based security, which we've just mentioned, up to field level, and bank functionality to reduce manual effort. And then the area we are about to demo, empowering our employees. We allow employees to become custodians of their leave, their personal information, and perhaps their performance management through self-service. This is a shift we want customers to see. ESS helps move HR away from being the only gatekeeper for every small employee request. So employees and managers can take ownership of routine processes while HR keeps visibility, control, and auditability. So with that context, let me show you what it looks like in People ESS for an employee and manager perspective. Bear with me one moment as I just quickly need to go and get my slide up for you. For the live data. I hope everybody can see the live ESS demo. So what you will see is, of course, it is in the cloud. So you will be logging in with a username and a password. And I will, my apologies. Right, there we are. This can be white labeled as well. So just so that you know, you can completely customize this page, the employee self-service page. You can customize it with your company logo, your colors, anything that you want to make sure that the employees understand this is their page and not necessarily a Sage page. So once we log into the Sage self-service system, this will be our landing page. Now, this is ideally what your employees will be seeing as well as managers. So there's a summary. Once again, I want to reiterate, you can completely customize these pages. You can have your own logo so that the employee has got the experience that they are logging into your company's platform and then applying for leave or downloading their information, whatever it is that they need. Of course, they can customize it by their pictures. So what I'm working here is as Mr. Steven Spielberg. He is a manager. I want to very quickly show you that we can do impersonation on Sage, on employee self-service. Added to that, there is also a mobile application. So should employees not necessarily have access to computers like we are doing right here, they can most definitely access the whole application on their mobile phones by downloading the app. So what I was wanting to go and show you is I am now working as Mr. Steven Spielberg, so I'm working as myself. But should I need to impersonate an employee, any employee that reports to me, I can go and impersonate him and work as Mr. Chris Rock and then log in as him. So that I will not do that now. I will just quickly go back as Mr. Steven. But that is, of course, an optional. Argument's sake, we all know life happens. Maybe you get sick or hospitalized. Then your manager needs to go and apply for leave for you on behalf of you. So in this situation, we can see here are the tabs at the top. Here is a calendar. If you want to apply for leave, then you can literally just go and select the dates that you want to apply for leave. I see we are quite running out of time, so I very, very quickly want to run through this information. Employees can go and get the personal information. They can go and request to update their personal information. They can download their pay slips. It's a history of pay slips from the data that the date we input the information. The employee can go and download all the historical pay slips, even going back from the last 6 months. Reports, they have my documents or company documents. You can actually load policies and procedures for employees to read and be aware of. And then, of course, they can download their tax certificates. So no more leave applications, no more paper applications, no more paper approvals. Everything on here works on a workflow approval process. Very quickly, show you how you apply for leave. So employee can go and apply for leave depending on your company policies that will be noted here. And then they can obviously submit a note, a doctor certificate, whatever your company policies are needed on. I think I've actually really run out of time showing you with the Sage 300 people, but just very quickly wanted to show you everything on Sage 300 people, employee self-service. This can be duplicated on the mobile application. Here are your tabs. They can submit claims if that is what your company have. So you can, anything, if you don't have claims, we can actually grade that out for you. And then the employees won't need to see that. They can only go and update their personal information, driver's licenses, expirations, bank details, family information, and of course, they can also pull reports. And like I have mentioned, one can load company documents. So yeah, you can see different company documents, once again, depending on your needs, what you want to update and make sure that the employees has availability to. So I think at this point in time, I'm actually going to have to introduce Henry further. And he needs to just, let me get back to my slide. And that is what we've mentioned, our ISV tech partners, where Henry is from Simplify HR, and he will explain to you a little bit more about that. Henry, let me just quickly see where I can give you access. Bear with me one moment, ladies and gentlemen. I have now given you control. Henry?
Great stuff. Thank you so much. Let me just see.
Yes, we can see your
there we go.
We can see your screen perfectly fine. Absolutely.
Okay, great stuff. Let me just get back to, I think there's a little bit of a delay on the slides. Let me just get back to the first slide. There we go.
We're on Why
So thank you,
Simplify
ladies
HR.
and gentlemen. Adil, can you see it on the Why Simplify HR?
I can most definitely see that, yes, Henry.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for making the time to listen to us, and thank you for Sage for inviting us. So we'll try and keep to the time limit here and give you some insights of what Simplify does. So very high level, Simplify is a tech partner of Sage, which means that we cover certain aspects that the Sage system would need us to enhance that platform. And typically we play in the higher onboarding and offboarding and crossboarding side of the HR space. We obviously integrate seamlessly with the Sage network, especially on Sage 300, that will basically allow us to speak and transfer certain information between the Simplify platform and the Sage platform itself. So when we look at where integrations happen with Sage before we get into the actual platform itself, so typically when you look at Sage, you have a function where your job roles or your roles are being captured in the job management segment. From there, you have obviously approved roles that will then feed into the Simplify Hire module that really looks after your entire recruitment space, from advertising roles to finding and screening candidates and finding that suitable candidate, where then moves into the Simplify Teams module, which is your onboarding tool that basically covers signing of contracts, collecting of supporting documents, and basically taking away all those manual processes that we have associated with onboarding of new staff members. And then we feed that information back into the Sage environment that will feed that candidate's information into the payroll space of the Sage 300 platform. So just to give you a high level of the two modules, Simplify Hire, very much focused on recruitment. We use generative AI throughout the process to build proper job adverts, screening questionnaires, and interview guides that can be used throughout the process to make sure that we have a good basis of what we're going to use to screen candidates against. We automate that full recruitment process, which means that we take candidates through the steps in your recruitment process. Throughout that, we communicate with candidates, collect certain documentations, and then at the end of the day, we have an electronic file of a recruitment or electronic recruitment file built up. We focus a lot on candidate experience. It needs to be a seamless process for a candidate, and that follows into teams later on when we talk about employee experience. So we want to portray your business as a professional, preferred employer of choice, a type of business that will make sure that that experience is as good as you can get from a candidate perspective. Throughout the process, we need to make sure that the parties involved in the recruitment process is there, so the system allows for a lot of collaboration between managers and hiring teams to make better decisions at the end of the day. Sorry, Adil, you're sharing your teams now. There we go. Thank you. Then simplified teams on the other side is the onboarding side. So there we do digital onboarding, signing of documents, something that is such a time suck sometimes in organizations where the recruiters basically have to fill in manual contracts on Word documents. So we take that away. We pre-populate those contracts, making sure we take a lot of errors out of the process. And through that, we do e-signing and automation of those contracts. So meaning that all of your contracts is digitalized and no more personal information is sitting around on hard copies, which is a very, very important factor. Again, the experience from an employee is really important, and also the integration into other platforms. So think about onboarding a new staff member when you have things like, for instance, your IT teams and those type of things, those type of departments that needs to get involved in that process. So on the next slide, if I can just move on to that. Deal, I don't know if you controlling it. There we go. Thank you so much. So very quickly, just to make sure from a timing perspective, the journey on the recruitment side is really from apply to hire and everything in between. So screening, sourcing candidates, screening candidates, interviewing candidates, making offers, and then obviously hiring candidates. All of our products is adaptive, so which means it can be loaded on any screen size that the candidate's engaging on. If we can go to the next slide, please. That would. So we can skip this one. We spoke about it a little bit earlier. So basically, it's just focusing on some of the aspects that we want to impact in the recruitment side. So we want to move away from a recruitment process that's manual, and we want to make sure that it's an efficient process that is focused on a candidate experience and also saving us a lot of effort and costs that is associated with it. So just a couple of screenshots on the recruitment module. Some of our clients that's using it. So we've got some really nice brands, especially the clients that is very much in the retail type space, like for instance Virgin Active. We've got the JD groups or the Pepcore groups. We have clients in the agri business. We have quite a few clients in the agri space. So this tells you that the system is a robust system that can manage volumes and that can actually give you the ability to really process a lot of applications and get to the right candidate a lot quicker. All of this data that we collect throughout the process is also in our reporting. We can go to the next slide, please.
No, Henry, sorry, I don't have control.
Okay, you've given control. Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, so then when we talk about the simplified teams module, if we can get to that slide. There we go. Sorry about this. This is a little bit delayed on my side. So the simplified teams module has got a focus on the experience from a job seeker moving into an employee. So think about your first day at a job previously. So it's normally a scary day. We want to make sure that is less scary. So there's a component in that system that allows us to have a visual and an experience type driven workflow. For instance, we can have welcome videos. We can give candidates or employees induction videos to watch. And throughout that process, we also conduct certain actions, like, for instance, I mentioned the signing of contracts, the completion of supporting documents, and then at the end of the day, basically what will happen is all of that information is captured and we then pass that into the Sage payroll system. So creating a full employee profile in Sage after we've collected all of that information. But Simplified Teams doesn't stop there. Besides onboarding, we also cater for transfers or cross-boarding. We also cater for offboarding. So similar concept where we have workflows and documents that's associated to each one of those steps in the process. Now, the last bit, just to why organizations should choose Simplify. It's really based on the concept that it's an integrated platform, speaking to your payroll, speaking to your other platforms that you're using, as well as your other partners or your teams in your organization that will basically help us drive that onboarding process and making it a lot more seamless process for a new joiner. So thank you for your time. I think we are out of time from my slot perspective. And I think there is going to be a poll now that, and also for opening up for questions.
Thank you, Henry and Adele. While the poll is being run, sorry, Adele, there's a question here. How does Sage 300 people help reduce manual HR and payroll tasks?
Helps reduce it.
Yes, how to reduce it.
Absolutely. So how that happens then, of course, when you offer them the employee self-service module, that is where the task will then, for updating, if a leave application maybe gets on an employee self-service and it goes through the approval process by the manager, it automates update on your payroll system. That's just a very quick answer, but we can obviously dig into it any further once we've got a little bit more time.
Awesome. Thank you, Adele.
No
We're just going
problem.
to have 10 more seconds and we'll close the poll. There is a few questions. Any questions that we haven't been answered, we will get in touch with you to answer those questions for you and find out if you need any more help with 300 people. But I'll close the poll off now, Adele.
Okay, 100%. Thank you. All right, so we've asked that. So any questions, please do to revert them to our marketing team. We will most definitely get back to you guys. I do apologize. We've run out of time. Time flies when you're having fun. So just log that over there. We will most definitely get back to you, myself with the team, Henry from the Simplify HR team. We've got a fantastic team here of salespeople here in consultants and advisors in Sage. Everybody's standing ready to assist you. Please let us know. Send your details through to our marketing team and we will be definitely reaching out to you. And then I want to close this off. Thank you ever so much, everybody, for spending the half an hour with us this morning. I hope you find it informative. However, we had such a short time, but I hope you learned something today from what the Sage offering. We are here to help you through more in-depth demos, more in-depth questions, anything like that.
Thank you, everybody. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Have a lovely day, everybody. Bye-bye.